It's Thursday morning here in Lagos. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the program. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Proponents of the much talked about election of the 12th of June 1993 are proud to have witnessed the very maiden recognition of the day as Nigeria's Democracy Day. President Muhammadu Buhari even added some icing to the cake when he named the Abuja National Stadium after the late MKO Abiola. And all of these are happening at the time the country is marking its longest unbroken period of democratic leadership and the fifth peaceful transition of power in a democratically elected government. Now recall that just before June the 12th, the Ninth Assembly was inaugurated and the key principal officers were elected. There's a lot to talk about this morning, and I'm joined by a two-term member of the House of Representatives representing Ijebu Central Federal Constituency, Honorable Kende Odeneye. Good morning.
Good morning, Ifeanyi.
And I don't know how to greet you now. You just graduated from the 8th Assembly. You're welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay, June 12th officially recognized as Democracy Day. We saw President Buhari naming the Abuja Stadium after MKO Abiola. Just how significant is this development to Nigeria's democratic history, especially as we celebrate 20 years of civilian rule?
Okay, thank you very much. Let's look at it from this perspective. There's always been this controversy between May 29 and June 12. And I think it is high time and the right time to put it in the right perspective. May 29 was the date the military handed over government to the civilian. June 12, 1993 precisely, was that date when Nigerians as a whole decided on our own to take back power from the military, to move away, to put a stop to poverty, to put a stop to so many things. And so that's why June 12 is very, very significant. You see, and if you look at it again, Chief Kashimawo Abiola also came at that particular point in time to be the Jesus Christ of Nigeria by taking that decision to die, not just for himself, not just for what he believed in, but for the generality of Nigerians.
Do you think he knew that he was going to die at that point?
If you listen to almost all his interviews, even at the point that he had an interview with BBC when he was being arrested by the police, he said he was ready to pay the supreme price. And the supreme price at that point in time could be anything. It could be being in jail. He never knew where it was going to end. He had two things in mind then, that either he survived and become the president of Nigeria, or he died. So he was determined, because if you listen carefully to all those things he said at that particular point in time, he could not just come back to the people to tell the people that I won't go ahead again. And that was why he made up his mind that yes, he was ready, he was going to go, full blast to claim his mandate.
But why, in your opinion, would you say past presidents since 1999 refused to recognize June 12 and even Abiola's sacrifices for Nigeria's democracy?
You see, I wonder why, especially Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, that could have given that June 12 the kind of recognition it deserves that Muhammadu Buhari just gave to it. And I think, it's my personal opinion, I think it's just to take away the significance of that particular date. Unfortunately, that can't happen because Nigerians spoke in one voice. Nigerians all over the world, not just within Nigeria alone, came together to speak with one voice that we needed that, that movement away from the military. So I still can't fathom the reasons why the previous governments decided not to recognize. Because as I said earlier, there's a difference between June 12 and May 29. You can never take May 29 to be a democracy day because it was just an handing over date.
That's right.
From military to civilian. It was not even the date of election. June 12 remains a date that, even till this moment, June 12 still remains a date that can never be wished away in Nigerian political history.
So the choice of democracy 26 years ago was to restore power to the people and have the real elements of democracy, you know, being mirrored in our governance. How much of this would you say the country has achieved in the past 26 years?
Unfortunately, we haven't been able to gain as much as we have expected and the world has expected us to gain. But I can tell you that there's a clear distinction between a military government and civilian government. In terms of infrastructural development, yes, we have developed to a large extent. But, you know, the kind of leadership that we had always yearned for, the kind of leadership that will move Nigeria forward more than where we were coming from, unfortunately, we haven't gotten it. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to have that during the second term of Muhammadu Buhari.
Let's take a short break now to accommodate another guest on this program. And when we return, we'll talk more about the significance of democracy in the past 20 years and the way forward after now. Do stay with us. Welcome back. We're looking at the 20 years of unbroken democratic rule in Nigeria. And just yesterday, we had the maiden recognition of June 12 as Democracy Day. It is a feat that has been celebrated across the country, especially for people who were very active in the struggle aftermath the election in 1993. Dr. Fasa Yusuf is a lawyer and communication expert. He joins us on this conversation. Thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
So Abiola came with hope in 1993. The slogan there was farewell to poverty. Are you shocked that these issues are still very relevant 26 years after? The fact that very troubling reports of Nigeria taking over from India as the country with the highest number of poor people.
Well, I'm not shocked. Democracy, as my brother said, is a continuum. And as the former Vice President of the United States of America said, Clinton, he said, in democracy, things are slow in happening. But without democracy, you cannot have sustainable development. Yeah, because the decision-making process is a bit cumbersome, a bit bureaucratic. You have to go through the legislature, due process, good governance, and all that. And again, your constituency all have to be taken into consideration. But in a military regime, it's by fiat. So if we talk about poverty, yes, the indices were there had been issue from the beginning, because the time Nigeria moved from an agrarian economy to a monolithic economy where oil is the dominant player, then things started going awry for Nigeria. And until we go back to the basics, until we're able to utilize our God-given resources, the benevolence of the Almighty God to this country, then we'll continue to talk about poverty. Even in America, they still talk about poverty. But the poverty in Nigeria is peculiar, because things that we ought to do, we don't do. For example, now, the poverty in America is more than what we have in this country. Because in America, you don't have free money. There's too much of free money in Nigeria. In America today, everybody is on loan. America is the greatest debtor in the whole world. You have a house in Nigeria here, hardly will you get a mortgage or a loan to get that. But in America, there's no way. You can't get it free. I mean, they will ask you, the government, the system will ask you, where do you get the money to buy the money? I mean, to buy the house? Where do you get the money to buy the car? You must take a loan to buy a car. You must take a loan to buy a house and all that. But in Nigeria, yeah. But the gulf is too wide between the rich and the poor.
No, perhaps the good thing about America is that almost everybody is taking a loan.
Everybody, you know what I'm saying?
Nigeria, if you
know what I'm saying? We have free money in Nigeria. And unfortunately, the Gulf, that's why we talk about the poverty headquarters of the world. It's just that, you see, the 1% of the population that is rich is opulent.
That's all right. Let's talk about some key elements of democracy. You have rule of law, human rights, and people participation. Rule of law has been a challenge in the past 4 years, so to speak. We've seen some flagrant disobedience of court orders, even at the top echelon of government. And people say, well, the best military rule is still not as good as the worst democratic rule, as it were. But how come we're still having challenges with simple obedience to court rulings?
Thank God we have a lawyer here. You see, I beg to disagree to some extent. Usually you see opponents most times being the one championing the campaign that there is flagrant disobedience to court orders and that sort of things. And another thing you have to look at is that how are the court orders obtained? How many courts are issuing orders? You understand? Because you go to, the courts themselves have made themselves so available for people to disobey. Because when a magistrate court here, in Lagos here, issues, even within Lagos, one issues one court order here, another one in Agege issues another something on the same case, another one in Ibadan would issue another. So you find out that the courts themselves have made those loopholes available for people to either disobey or obey. But it's a quite different situation under military, as Dr. Yusuf actually put it. You understand? In the last 4 years, I want to say categorically that it's been better. It is better than what we used to have, even in the past regimes. And why? If you look at the temperature or the body language of the president, is such a person that believes that everything that has to be done must be done. It could be slow. Things could actually be slow, and if you look at it too, because it's the kind of person that believes that things must be rightly done, and that is why he has also been his searchlight even on judiciary. Judiciary that's supposed to be, the one that will mediate between executive and legislature, and that is why when he saw that the judiciary is now being used by opponents, is now being cowed because of one reason or the other, and that is why the searchlight is being on them to make sure that everything is put right. And if everything is put right in judiciary, you won't have any situation of court orders not being obeyed or being...
Let us ask the lawyer, because how do we put things right in the judiciary? Recall that when the former CJN was suspended, the president in a public speech showed this displeasure with the position of the stance of the Supreme Court on some corruption cases. He, as a matter of fact, said that some people who are corrupt have now been, they have been given the ability to walk free on the streets. How do we ensure that we build the judiciary to the point that the rule of law can be upheld in this part of the world?
Well, it is a sacred institution, but many times we find that that institution, that holy temple, is being desecrated by ungodly elements within the society. You see, the judiciary, which is the third arm of government, requires a lot of re-engineering. It requires a lot of surgery to make it to be at par with what is obtainable elsewhere. I must say as a lawyer that the institution is desecrated and that a lot will need to be done, and that the judiciary must, like Caesar's wife, live above reproach. And when you see litigants, you see counsel, you see judges compromising themselves, compromising the institution, that is the last hope of the common man.
That's right.
Then you are talking about self-help. And until we are able as a nation to know that justice should be done to all manners of people. And the common man on the street should have confidence in the judiciary. Because right now, many people are resorting to self-help because they've lost confidence in the judiciary. So it behoves on the executive to straighten things up. And when you have a desperate situation, it requires a desperate solution. So when you see the executive coming in to make an incursion, nobody has been able to fault
Does it sound
what the
like
president did. For example, now, I mean, at the end of the day, it was proven that the immediate passive justice of the country was living over and above his income, which he could not explain.
But they say,
And that is why I continue
Dr.
to
Fassi, they say
yes.
two wrongs don't make a right. You cannot correct a wrongdoing by also breaking the law.
What law has he been broken?
No, I'm saying that the way and manner in
Can you be
which
specific?
the executive goes about to correct that arm of government.
Can you be specific? Can you make specific instances?
For instance, the issue of the suspension of the CJN
Yes.
is a matter that is still, a subject of public debate.
Well-
The fact of whether the president has the right to have removed, a sitting member of the judiciary.
He was suspended. EU employees has the power to fire. He was not even removed. He was suspended. You cannot adjudicate. You cannot sit over your own case.
Without
and
the-
that justice will not be done when he's sitting in. He's the chairman of National Judicial Council.
Without the input of the NJC at that time?
Look,
Neither did-
excuse me.
did the National Assembly was
When you
consulted?
when you talk about good, due process or good governance, I think I should know to some extent. Okay? The point is this. You are the chairman of TVC. A petition is being sent against your chairman. And you expect the chairman sitting there. If they want to receive that petition, is they want to assign it. So if he's there, his body language alone will dissuade any subordinate from acting. So the right thing was done, and nobody has faulted that process. No court has pronounced on that process.
It's all right.
And again, he resigned. And they begged the president, they pleaded with the president to convert it to retirement and not dismissal. He could have dismissed him.
Let's
He could have
move,
dismissed him.
let's move very quickly
But the point is that, look, this country, until we jettison sentiments, parochial, primordial issues, this country will never make progress. Look at it. I mean, is it fathomable that 5 of the 6 governors from the South will go to court simply because the man is from that South region, and 2 of them are lawyers? I mean, we lawyers ourselves, we have problem. Does it make any reasonable sense? And the case went to Supreme Court, and it was dismissed. And you have his colleagues there. So why did his colleague not tell those governors that you did well? Rakadede, go on with the case. Or bring back the Chief Justice. Look, corruption has been the bane of the Nigerian society. And until we do away with corruption, I don't mind how corruption is dealt with. As long as we go back to the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s that we saw.
But you agree with me that in fighting this corruption,
There could be some infractions.
it has to be done within the ambience of the rule of law.
Agreed.
There are people who are still being detained right now
Agreed.
against the position of the courts.
I'm saying agreed. There are some infractions. But then, as I said, some desperate solutions. Some desperate
I can see you are laughing, Honorable.
No, because
Yes.
I told you at the beginning that thank God we have a lawyer in the house.
But let us move away from that to your constituency. You just got back from the 8th Assembly.
Yeah.
And we saw some form of an open secret ballot system for the election of principal officers. How democratic is that? Because on the other hand, some are saying, well, it's not as secret as it appears. The fact that each member of the House was called in the state alphabetical order.
Yeah.
We are told that each ballot paper also has serial numbers.
Yes.
So it is easy to identify who each senator or who each member of the House of Reps voted for in that particular election.
Let me put it this way. The House has standing orders. And the standing order dictates how elections are being held. And that has been the system even in the past. So, but if you look at it very well, that election was very democratic. Nobody was there to dictate to whoever who you should vote for or you should not vote for. And I think it is a very good system, unlike when someone was going to be imposed in the past. In the past, the Senate presidents were being imposed, the Speaker were being imposed.
By who?
The president then. And you see,
or even removed.
Removed, put and removed then. But if you look at what we have now from 2015, even 2011, in 2011, you see that even as an opposition members then, ACN, we dictated the tone, the election of the Honorable Speaker then, Tambua, as opposition members, not even the ruling party, because he was not the choice of the ruling party. So, and that has been the process for some time. Since 2011, it has been this, the way the dictates of the standing order. And I think it's a democratic process. For the fact that I vote and I show you, I go to show the speaker or the person I want to vote for, I go to show you, means I am supporting you.
What do you think your party did differently this time? Because you were outsmarted, in 2015, a situation where the anointed candidate did not emerge winner at the floor of the Green Chamber.
Yeah, you see, it was not as if APC was outsmarted in 2015. No, I think it was just a matter of greed and flagrant disobey to the party loyalty rules. That was exactly what happened. Because you see, there's no way you have a ruling party that will fold its hands and allow opposition members to take over the National Assembly. There's no way Nigeria will move forward in that regard. So in 2019, what the party did was to put its own in a better order than what it was in 2000. In 2015, we were still over rejoicing at that point in time.
And then you got carried away.
Not that we got carried away, but we never believed that there could be some Judas in the camp of Jesus Christ.
Dr.
At that particular point in
Fassi,
time.
do you think the emergence of Lawan and Gbajabiamila would automatically end the rift that we've seen in the past 4 years between the executive and the legislature, especially when it comes to the budget?
To a large extent, there's going to be harmonious and cordial relationship. It will make for easy passage of bills. It will make for better interaction. It will make for better consultation. It will make for better understanding. It will also make for better polity. The environment will not be heated up. The situation we had before now was such that it was a house divided within itself, and therefore could not make progress. Things fell apart, and the system could not hold. But as it is now, we are open, unless something else diametrically happened. Otherwise, we expect that things will be smooth sailing. The executive will have no excuse not to perform. The legislature too will not have a frosty relationship with the executive, and by extension, the judiciary too. So we expect that the three arms of government, there will be symbiotic relationship to the extent that they will speak with one voice, and there will be commonality of purpose. And also, the judiciary will feel free. Not that one arm will think judiciary, or perhaps the executive will think the judiciary is obnobbing with the executive and vice versa. That is perhaps also obnobbing with the legislature to the detriment of the other. So we expect the three arms to
work together,
to be in sync,
that's right,
and to make sure that this country progresses. And we, the people, will be able to hold them responsible and accountable. Don't forget that they have a mandate to perform, and any excuse whatsoever will not be taken this time around.
It's interesting to note that the presiding officers, the Senate President and the Speaker, emerged winners with more votes than they got more support than just from their party members
Yeah.
to have been elected. As a matter of fact, the House of Reps Speaker, his nomination was seconded by a PDP member. Help us understand how it works, working across party, to make this happen. Is this a situation and a relationship we can see play out in the next 4 years?
Definitely. You see, when you are in the National Assembly, if you look at the last 4 years, what really slowed us down as a country could be ascribed to the workings in the National Assembly. And why? Because the PDP as a party saw themselves then as a pillar that must not allow progress to be. And so at every point in time, anything that was brought must be antagonized, whether it was for the betterment of Nigerians or anything.
Has that changed now?
Now it's going to change, because now you will look at it that even in the PDP, we now have two groups, the progressives, and those are the ones that voted for Femi Gbadagbiamila, and those ones that are called regressive. Those are the ones that are the real PDP. So, but because to the progressives, they just feel that we have not enjoyed the best, in national polity in the last 4 years. And there's a need, because we all represent Nigerians. Nobody just got themselves there. You were voted in by someone or by some set of people that expected you to go there and perform. Not just performing for yourself, but performing for them and for the nation. And for the nation to be able to move forward. So what we have now is going to be an harmonious working relationship, even with the opposition party. But let me let you know this. For the mere fact that APC has Femi Gbadagbiamila and Lawan as Senate President and Speaker does not necessarily mean, because that's what opposition party members are now saying, oh, we're going to have rubber stamp legislation. And it's not going to be. The only thing, some of the things which Dr. Yusuf has mentioned is that we're now going to have very smooth governance. And that's what we're going to have. In terms of budget, Femi Gbadagbiamila has always been one that he was even the one that raised it when the president presented budget at a particular point in time, that we need the budget to come in
earlier,
earlier
so
than
that we can have the January,
so that we can have. You see, for the mere fact that Femi Gbadagbiamila becomes the speaker now does not mean what is supposed to be done on the budget will not be done. But there will be listening ears, and as they are listening to their members in the chambers, they will also be listening to the presidency for us to have a point where everybody meets.
So the social media went agog when the picture of the deputy president of the Senate, Omar Agege, was greeting the president on his news. Help us understand, Dr. Fassi, what the thin line will be between being a rubber stamp to the executive and, of course, having a working relationship between the two arms of government.
Well, I think it's only Omar Agege that will tell us why he did that. It could be out of respect. It could be out of joy. At the end of the day, I made it. Or perhaps my past antecedents paid off, or whatever. But to my mind, a tree does not make a forest. Omar Agege is just the deputy Senate president, so his role is limited to when the president of the Senate is not available. He's not the majority leader. He's not the one to present issues before the district.
You're saying it's not a big as long as Lawan wasn't the one that
not
nailed
even that, It's just one out of 109.
Okay.
Even the Senate president, if he's not careful, his members may decide, look, you get off that seat. You are just primus inter pares. First among equals. So, nail down or whatever, we had that in the past. Most of them were kneeling down for Obasanjo and all that. And that did not prevent Obasanjo from dealing with them. So it does not really matter. But I think the man must have been very happy because nobody ever reckoned with him that, look, he missed Nasha, Rabu Raza will become the deputy Senate president. So he must have been rewarded for whatever. And perhaps he was grateful to the president that at least the president chipped in and said a lot of things to his credit and why he should be there. So, and again, he sold enough to be his father.
The independence of the National Assembly and the legislature has been a matter of debate for years. There are some issues that are even still in court, especially with the issue of the past president of the Senate. How much of independence would you say that the National Assembly has experienced in the past year since 1999?
Yeah, this is a very topical issue, and I think it's something that we have to x-ray, and I also believe that it's something that will continue to generate reactions. You see, when you talk about independence, yes, the three arms of government are supposed to be independent of each other, for all of us to be able, for them to be able to perform very, very, very well. But where you have, and this happens all over the world, but where you have the executive determining what is to be given to legislative arm, what is to be given to the judiciary. So you now look at it. What kind of independence are we talking about?
But you also wonder, Honorable, at times, how much money you guys just give to yourself.
Let's take the issues one after the other.
Okay.
Let's take. I'm going to come to that. Let's take the issues one after the other. So when you're talking about independence on the surface of it is for them to be able to work very well. We have been speaking about harmonious relationship and all sorts of things for the betterment of the citizens. Yes. So if we talk about street independence, we can never have any street independence anywhere in the whole world. If there's going to be total street independence, there will always be conflicts. Because everybody has his own agenda. Every arm has its own agenda. You understand? So in this case, we're talking about every arm of government being able to determine, to stand on its own and determine so many things, carry out its responsibilities the way it's supposed to be, the way it is written in the Constitution, so that one does not infringe on the rights or responsibilities of the
Let me ask you this question, Honorable, and I think it will be easier for you to answer because at least you are no longer in the House for now.
Yeah.
Do you think that you guys were earning too much as a member of the House of Reps? Because that is the feeling of many Nigerians, that some people just sit down there, they don't even attend the sittings at times, and they make a lot of money.
See, one of the issues I have with National Assembly is that a lot of Nigerians don't even know the activities of National Assembly. And we always lose focus attempting to do so many other things without letting Nigerians know what we do. You see, people look at the floor of the House at times. You can never have that kind of congregation that you had on the inauguration day. One, immediately the House is inaugurated, they have a few weeks holiday for them to be able to assign seats, for them to be able to assign offices, and for them to be given committee membership. Immediately committee are set up, they have different activities. You understand? They have different activities. They go on oversight. They do so many things. They do committee sitting and all stuff. So when you talk about people not coming to chamber and all stuff things, it is because the National Assembly as a body has not been able to enlighten Nigerians.
I'll get back to you on this matter, Honorable. Let me take this call from Ali Mosho. Good morning, Reverend Dominic.
Good morning, Femi.
Glad to have you call. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning, sir.
And good morning to your next guest. I don't know his name.
Good morning.
Yeah. Dr. Fasser, I want to make this point. If this is democracy, how do we reward bad behavior and good behavior? I love this National Assembly because the party have put their foot down to get principal officers that can do things well. But there's a sword in my heart for Omo Agege to become a Senate president of the present time in
the
21st
deputy
century
president
Nigeria.
of the Senate.
It's painful and it's shame to most of us who support APC. Because no matter who is fighting for, I did not like the last house because of Sariki. But that doesn't mean I should put down that house because it's democratically established. If I want to also fight it, I should fight it democratically. For one get to go and pick up the mess just 8 months ago and come back to preside over that house, I think it's a slap on face of civil rule. That is by the way. Let me go to judiciary. This judiciary keep trying to offend most of us outside here. There was a judgment 2 weeks ago about the other DG of Nigeria Maritime Authority, who was found guilty of 245 million. This judge gave him for 2 million naira fine and asked him to go home with his loot. Even the young man who was a lawyer was telling the judge, The house is somewhere in the River State or Delta. We have to seize it because it's some part of the money you support it. The judge who knows very well says he should keep his house, keep some 200 million naira, and just pay for 2 million. What kind of judgment is this? It's against the principle of the plea bargaining. I know a little bit about law. In the plea bargaining, you have to bring out what you steal and you have lesser sentences. It is prerogative of the judge. But in this case, you gave him the money he stole, you asked him to pay for 2 million on it and go home and relax. What kind of judgment is this? Thank you, sir.
It's all right, Reverend Dominic. Thank you for
let me
calling in. Let's begin with the Omo Agege issue. He is saying that we don't have a short capitulation of members.
Well, first of all, I will speak as a lawyer. Secondly, I will speak as a public analyst. You know, in law, there's a lot of difference between morality and law. So, to that extent, in the case of Omo Agege, no court has pronounced him guilty of that offense. And of course, you know there's immunity in the chambers. And it's not only in Nigeria, even in advanced democracies, India, Japan, they break their heads because of fighting over, quarreling over issues. So that's democracy at play for you. You've seen even in South Africa, where they throw chairs and all the rest. In America, in Britain, they echo, they do all sort of things, they yell and all that. So that is the beauty.
You don't think that it is a dent on the moral integrity of the party that has a dusting?
Excuse me. That is democracy for you. They know how to settle their issues. You see them today quarreling. Tomorrow, they are loving. They are playing with each other. So
let me hold it very quickly, Dr. Fassi.
The second aspect, the second aspect is that, as I said, no court has pronounced him guilty of that offense, so we cannot judge. We saw what happened there. How it happened, we did not know. But all I'm saying is that whatever happened at our chambers, there's immunity there.
That's all right.
And therefore,
let me take this call very quickly from Lekki.
And the second issue, why don't you ask that fellow to wait?
Okay, please
so
go ahead.
I can address the other issue.
Very quickly.
The other issue is talking about, you see, that is at the High Court level, Federal High Court level. We have Court of Appeal, we also have the Supreme Court. There was no plea bargaining. What the judge said, of course I know the judge, what the judge said was that there's no provision in that act that says do this, do that. That aspect only said 7 years imprisonment, but she was using her discretion to give the option of fine. Don't forget that there have been cases in this country. We are just talking about this now because we could talk. There was the case of a governor of Edo State that was taken to Asaba High Court and was just fined 500,000 naira.
Let's take Collins' call very quickly from Lekki. Hello, Collins. Are you still there?
Hello.
Oh, apologies for having you to wait. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead, Collins.
Yes. Yes, I'm here. Good morning. Yes. The issue before us now, can you hear me?
Go ahead, please.
The issue before us now is that we thank God for the succession of the new transition. But what we are saying in effect is this.
I'm afraid we can't go ahead with that call. You have to switch off your TV or turn down the volume completely when you call in so that we'll make without the feedback distortion. It's interesting the point you made earlier, Honorable, about the fact that House of Reps members and indeed lawmakers have other duties apart from sitting for plenary. Yeah. But we also see the UK Parliament where people sit down to discuss issues. It's always a full house. I mean, how do we begin to understand that? It's just empty seats during plenary does justice to the rules of lawmakers.
It is not every time you see empty seats. And the ones you see in UK that are not empty are times when they discuss national issues. They don't show everyday plenary to us. So it's only those ones that are very important to the world that we had to discuss so many important things about their country, about the world that they show to us, that, and those are the ones you see. So the same thing happens here. There are several times you see a full house. It may not necessarily be 360 members, but you have near full house when matters of national importance are being discussed. But I'm also saying that there are so many other activities that, you know, a lot of people believe that it's only in the chamber that you discuss. A lot of people don't even know that we have meeting rooms. A lot of people don't even know. We go outside Nigeria, we go outside Abuja to even discuss. A lot of people don't know that you stay outside Abuja for about 2 weeks to go on legislative activities.
Where you liaise with the people at the grassroots.
Oversight functions and
Oversight functions.
Let's take this call from Dr. Good morning, Jacob.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Please go ahead.
Dr. Fasi, good morning, and then the other.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Yes, sir.
You see, for the second time, let me disagree with my friend Reverend Dominic. You see, last time and this morning, Reverend Dominic says that it is a shame to the APC for nominating Omagege to become the DSP of the Senate. I don't think it is a shame. Why? Because Reverend Dominic only mentioned what Omagege did that very particular day. But forget to tell Nigerians that what the leadership of the House of the National Assembly in person of Saraki is doing that very particular time, it is amount to the garrison commander. And then Omagege comes from the Delta, representing the constituency from the Delta state. And then you know that deep down in that law of the standing rule of the House, you don't have right to suspend any senator for even a week. And then the garrison commander in the end of the affair of the Senate then is planned to suspending the Omagege, which is already due to Ali Ndume. And then the Omagege was looking for survivor, and then he did what he did. And then even though there's no any court, according to what Dr. Fasi said in the studio, there's no any court of law pronouncing Omagege guilty up to this morning. And then Omagege he has never come out that he was one to even do what he did that day. But we are just assumption that he was the one that lead all those thoughts. He has never come out saying Nigeria that yes, I'm the one doing it. Then what the Saraki is doing that time is to just hold the federal government, the government of the day, ransom in order for him to be able to clean the presidency, which is already lost there.
It's
in
all
the
right.
PDP and the ransom. So I was saying that, Nifemi, I think the party did well. They did what they're supposed to do because Omagege is a party loyalist. He did what every one of us that support the APC. I
It's all
want
right.
him to do that very particular
I
time.
think you made your point, Jacob.
The play bargaining should be removed in our own constitution. That is it.
Thank you for calling in. Thank you so much for calling in.
Well,
let me just ask.
Let me just say, let me first education and others. The plea bargaining is not in our constitution yet. It's not in our criminal code yet. What people are saying is that why don't we insert plea bargaining so that the lengthy nature of trial and all the rest can be reduced to the barest.
Will it also apply to the poor? Because when you say plea bargain, it is easy for the rich to steal.
If it is inserted there,
It's applicable to everybody.
It will be applicable to. I mean, the law does not distinguish between the poor and the rich, between the low and the mighty. And again, it will reduce congestion in our courts. But what people are saying is that why should there be plea bargaining when it has not been incorporated into our statute?
Yeah, because we've seen some people having to return money.
Some people was given just 50,000 or 500,000 naira.
And unfortunately-
I was stealing billions.
Unfortunately,
We saw that in this country.
it only applies to the big people. I mean,
Not to the big people.
what I'm saying is that the condition as it is right now, where people return money, it doesn't apply to the poor. When a poor man steals in the market,
No.
he receives a jungle justice immediately, and it doesn't even get to the court.
No, if you go to court now, I tell you this as a practicing lawyer. If your case is before a magistrate court, if you don't waste the time of the court, if you tell the court, my lord, I'm guilty.
Okay.
I ask you, okay, you've taken your plea, explain, I'm guilty. It will reduce the sentence.
All right. Let's
So
take this
that's
call.
more or less plea bargaining too, because you have not wasted the time of the court.
Let's
going
take this
to
call
full
from
trial
Ali
and all
Mosho.
that.
Good morning, Abraham.
Good morning. How are you today?
Terrific. Go ahead with the
Good
contribution.
morning to everybody on the seat.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I'm not a politician, but neither a politician's son. But I just want to contribute a bit. to this new dispensation. The election that took place, I think it was a good one for the APC. Because at the other election in 2015 was a start at the back of APC. Because Saraki was like a square peg on a round hole. So I'm seeing like a good Nigeria today from this new cabinet. There will be a free flow of legislative work and, of course, every other arm of the democracy. So I congratulate APC for this new National Assembly election. I wish them good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Abraham, for calling in. Good to hear from you. So the allegation was that a lawmaker had brought in thugs to steal the maize from the house, and I think that's it is an allegation, and that's what was highlighted by one of the callers. Yes. But then on the other side is the moral burden of having him emerge to that particular position. We've not heard your thoughts on this issue.
No, it's been said. If Omagege was accused of being the one behind the invasion, he hasn't been prosecuted. Nobody has pronounced him guilty of such. And as the caller actually put it, which is a very good moral justification too, he has not come out as well to even say anything about that incident. Nobody has questioned him. Nobody has asked him to say that, okay, fine. Were you even aware of the talks? Or did you bring them in? Were you the one behind them? And not even the... You see, that's where we make mistakes. The committee set up by the Senate to look at that case had already written down their judgment even before they started sitting. And that was why they came up with such a position, because it was a matter where the person had been accused was not given fair hearing, according to lawyers, for him to come and defend himself. You see, and another thing to it is this. If you are accusing of Magege, come to National Assembly and see the retinue of security there. So how did those people enter right from the first gate down to the second one, down to the chamber?
So we have reserved this time before to take most of the calls. That's why I have to interrupt you. Let's take this very quickly, just a minute, Dr. Fassi, from Ikeja. Good morning, Judge.
Yeah, good morning, Nifemi, and good morning to the House.
Good morning, sir.
Nifemi, the fact that no former head of state was present at the Eagle Square on Democracy Day speaks volumes. Speaking volumes in the sense that these people have only proven to us that they have always represented their own interests and not the interests of Nigerians. If there was a democracy at all, it is June 12th that brought about the struggle for it. The one that Obasanjo and his group trumped up on 29th of May was a day of handing over. But June 12th had been in place that brought about the essence of democracy in the first place. So I don't know where, anyway, let's just leave that topic. They've already judged themselves. You talked about judiciary or disobedience to court order. The question we need to ask ourselves, Nifemi, how has the judiciary fared? When a judgment is fair, it is always seen to be fair. Nobody can disobey what is fair. But when you know that something is not right, your conscience does not allow you to flow with the judgment. That is what happens when you give a judgment that is not right. Say, for example, there is one armed robber or a kidnapper that is on trial now. For long, Evans, you know him, for long, they are going back and forth. At the end of the day, you will hear that he's been discharged and acquitted because of lack of evidence or something like that. But we have seen videos where this man made confessional statements. If such judgment comes, will you obey it? Will you flow with it? The judiciary should first of all purge itself of discontent. I don't want to talk about Omangegi again. I've already spoken about it.
It's
the
all right.
Truth of the matter is that truth is truth. If you don't agree with the truth today, you will agree with it tomorrow when you mature. Good morning.
Good morning, Judge. The issue about confessional statement, hashtag when they see us, is the fact that it could have been gotten under, special circumstances.
Duress,
It could be
promise.
It could have been coerced to say that, especially with the experiences we've had with the police. But we have to move forward and wrap up, Dr. Fasa. What's the way forward? Thankfully, Nigerians got the presidential speech that they were looking forward to on May 29. We didn't hear the president say he's for everyone and he's for some people this time. But he acknowledged the fact that there is a lot more to be done. What's the way forward in the light of this discussion?
The way forward for this country is egalitarianism, justice, equity, fair play, security, development, advancement. And the president has promised that this country is capable of eradicating corruption. I mean, removing 100 million people from poverty within the next 10 years. So he has 4 years to spend. So we hope that in the next 4 years, he will have been able to at least achieve 50% of that, taking at least 50 million people out of
according to him, China and Indonesia have done that.
But
and Nigeria
the point is that we have all the opportunities in this world if we are ready to be creative, dynamic, purposive, and to be determined to succeed.
On the part of government.
Everybody, including you and me.
I'm sorry, I have to cut you again. We have a caller from Niger State. Good morning, Adisa. Adisa, are you there? I think we lost that. Honorable, you are optimistic that the Ninth Assembly will do better, especially in the area of budget implementation?
Yeah, I am.
Budget implementation or
budget passage.
Budget passage,
yes.
And monitoring. I am very optimistic that the Ninth Assembly will get it right this time around. It's not as if the National Assembly did not get it right in the past, but I'm saying that with the cooperation that the executive is going to enjoy from the legislative arm now, yes, I want to believe that everything is going to be better done than it used to be.
Okorafo is calling in from Arochukwu, Abia State. Good morning, Okorafo. Please go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Dene. Good morning, Dr. Fassel.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
It's a pleasure. You see, the benefits of 20 years and the benefits of June 12th. Thank God for a fruitful National Assembly permutation. It went well. We thank God for that. Now, Nigeria is working towards what we call from analog democracy to digital democracy and digital politicking. You see the two factors are now moving from analog to digital, both democracy and politics. Now, what do we learn from this June 12th? There are three cardinal points which was on during that June 12th. That is fighting poverty, fighting illiteracy, and fighting hunger. Now, what do we do now? It is the responsibility of all Nigerians to see that all these three cardinal points are being cleared up from this country. Like what they were asking Ms. Honorable Odene, he was talking about that empty seat. Because I agree that there are other rooms where they do other jobs inside the assembly. But the question is, if you watch UK or American, you see that they are always free to capacity, no matter what is happening there, whether they are doing the general thing. There is need for the present National Assembly to make sure that empty seats should no longer be a story. That they should say bye-bye to empty seats. Every day, all of this should come because they collect allowances every day.
That's all right.
Or not, thank you very much. Have a blessed day in Lagos.
Good to hear from you from Abia State. I think he said that we need to go check the daily proceedings at the UK Parliament.
I think if I just advise, yes, my brother just came back after 8 years.
Yes.
See, number one, the communication strategy is questionable. Number two, the strategy, the work ethics will need to be looked into. For example, you don't hold your plenary sessions when your men are outside or in the committee rooms. You sit for maximum of 4 hours or 3 hours, from 10 to 12 or 2 and all the rest. So why don't you hold your meetings outside those periods?
Gentlemen, we have to go now. The gentleman on
I
the right
very well.
is Honorable
Engage consultants.
Odene is a two-term member of the House of Representatives representing the Ijebu Central Federal Constituency. He just got back from the 8th Assembly. We were told that at some point you had your eyes on the speakership of the House. Was that accurate?
No.
Oh, no. All right. Thank you so much for coming. It's good to have you back.
Thank
and
you.
also we have Dr. Fasi Yusuf, a
The
lawyer.
speaker of my chambers.
Yes, and communication expert. Gentlemen, it's good to have you on this
Our
morning.
pleasure.
We'll be back tomorrow with another exciting one. Do join us again. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Bye for now.